You know what happened when teams apply cell-based architecture to the wrong problems and then they blame the architecture or each other? And that's exactly why many teams assume cell-based architecture can be applied to any problem. But that's not true. Cell-based architecture is powerful only when the problem actually benefits from isolation. Let's look at the use cases where it works best. First, domain segregation. Cells work well when a problem can be clearly scoped to a domain, a team boundary, a product line, a business capability, or even a specific regulatory context. If a cell can own one problem end to end, it has a chance to succeed. If the domain is fuzzy, the cell will be too. Second, microservices and container based systems, especially when services, data, and operations you need to bundle together. So, use cell based architecture. In these cases, a cell allows components to be born and retired together instead of lingering as shared dependencies across the platforms. This is where lifecycle alignment really matters. Number three, security and separation concerns. This is one of the most important use cases. Financial transactions, sensitive data, regulated workloads. Cells allow you to keep one security concern completely isolated from another, reducing your blast radius and simplify compliance. And this is going to be very important going forward with AI. Fourth, resilient architecture. This is where cloud providers, especially AWS, emphasizes cell-based thinking. By containing dependencies within a cell, whether by tenant or by geography, you limit the impact of failures and design for resilience by default. Across all these use cases, patterns is the same. Cells work best when isolation is more valuable than central optimization. Take a moment to reflect which of these use cases looks closest to your current work context. Drop in the comments. That's usually the right place to start understanding cell based architecture in the right context, in the right manner.